I mentioned about the AL Central, I'm more worried about the Chicago White Sox than the Minnesota Twins. How about you?
Yeah, I think the White Sox are going to be, this year, the Minnesota Twins of last year. They may not hit as many home runs, but they're going to be a load to pitch to because they got hitters all over their lineup and a couple of good ones on the way.
Well, take a look here. The key additions, yasmani-grandal, nomar-mazara, as well as Edwin, you remember him, Encarnacion.
Yeah.
Dallas-keuchel and Gio-Gonzalez. They lose Yomar Sanchez, the second baseman, Ivan Nova, and John Jay. That's who they lose. It looks like they overcome that by what they picked up here. Who's well, we all know Encarnacion. He should hit from that, right?
He should what?
He should hit for them.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, he's hit everywhere he's been. And you know, they got Tim Anderson almost, or did he win the batting title last year, the shortstop? And Moncada seems to put it together. And they got a minor leaguer named Louis Robert or Robert, I don't know how you pronounce it, that's just tearing it up in the minor leagues. That probably will be up at some time during this year. He steals 30 and hits 40 homers. So
let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins, who of course won the division last year. They've added Homer Bailey and Rich Hill from the pitching mound. Tyler-Clippard, where was he? Oh yeah, an Indian last year. Does that hurt losing him?
I don't understand that at all. I mean, he signed for like $2.5 million with the Twins.
Right.
The Indians couldn't afford that. He was statistically their best reliever last year, and they just let him walk with no attempt to keep him, apparently.
Alex-Avila continues to make the tour of the Central Division. His father traded him as a general manager.
He probably holds some Central Division records that we don't even know of because he's been around so long.
Right. All right, key losses, cj-cron as well as jonathan-schoop and Kyle-Gibson and martin-perez coming off the roster of the Minnesota Twins. And then bringing up the rear, we assume will be the Detroit Tigers and Kansas City Royals. Tigers, they get the Cron, the add-on scope rather, and Austin Romine is brought in as the catcher. Key loss. You know, to me, it's not a key loss if I never heard of the guy.
Yeah. You should put key in quotation marks.
Yeah, right. Maybe he will be, maybe he won't be.
They just say losses, or losses with a question mark.
Kansas City Royals. Let's see what they did or didn't do. The manager, losing a manager and gaining a manager. Mike-Matheny is the addition, and ned-yost no longer there. maikel-franco is who they add, and they lose cheslor-cuthbert.
I'm surprised that they didn't trade, maybe they still will before opening day, Merrifield, the second baseman, was a terrific all-around player. Yeah,
he's actually a typical Indians player.
He is. He might have led the league in hits last year, I think. He's always on base, and you know the Indians needed a second baseman, and I thought maybe they'd take a run at trading for him, but he's a very underrated hitter and player, in my opinion.